Sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence.
Jordan's messages.
We're ready to go. Here we go.
This is the third time that we have done this intro. The first one was amazing, but I said something that I probably had to bleep out. I asked Josh, what to write on the whiteboard. I said, is there a theme for this episode of messages? He went through the questions and he said, not especially. That means that it will be especially surprising. Let's get to the messages. Dear Jordan and Josh, my girlfriend and I will be getting married soon. She would like to have dancing, just the first dance and possibly the daddy-daughter dance, and I am willing to do that. However, my preference would be not to have dancing, and my family and relatives are strictly against any dancing whatsoever. It has always been her idea that her perfect wedding would include dancing, and we're worried whether it's worth the possible backlash or not from my relatives. So, do you think we should have the dances or just forget them completely? They really spammed us, Josh. I got that in a direct message on Instagram, I think. Maybe even an email.
I got that from the contact at blimeycow.com, and I even included it.
Do not spam us. This was a great question. We had to use it. But do not spam us. You will be in the spam folder. That's where you'll be. Is it worth it for you to have dancing at your wedding because your family isn't happy with it? Josh, if people only knew what privileged problems they have. Look, I think you should have the dancing, okay? Really, this is a daddy-daughter dance. Just let her have it, okay? It's the last time you're gonna take her away from her family. This is the last time she's gonna see them. You might as well let her at least dance with them for the last time. And all because your family is like, I don't want her to dance with her father. Wow. Think about that. I don't want her to dance with her father.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. Look, you need to take what your wife wants into consideration, because if you don't, and you're gonna be this dictator of a husband who's not gonna let your poor wife have a daddy-daughter dance. That's sick. They're strictly against dancing. Is this a religious thing? Or something? Nazarenes, I think, were against dancing back in the day. I mean, our school used to not be able to dance, and they let people dance.
Oh, good.
When we were there, we couldn't dance.
Really?
Yeah.
I never had a reason to dance there, so I didn't get in trouble, I guess.
Oh, okay. Josh avoided that.
I never felt like dancing.
I think they lifted the... Hello? I think they lifted the rule, like, our senior year.
Oh, yeah. Too
Wow.
late. Too late for us. Too late for us.
So many missed opportunities.
Look, okay, if it's a religious thing, okay. If it's a religious thing, probably still let her do the thing. Okay? Act like it's our senior year. Let us dance, please. Let's move along. Dear Jordan. Wow, no, dear Josh. I go to a local supermarket in our town a lot. But
People always say Dear Jordan for the hard-pressing problem.
That's right, Josh. But recently, I've kind of been hesitant to go. I mean, for some weird reason, there have always been creepy employees there, but they've never messed with me, Until a month ago, I'm a teenage girl, and there's this guy in his early 20s, and he always has his hair slicked back with oil, and he's always making awkward jokes. So a while ago, when I was checking out, he kept commenting on all of the things I was buying. A pineapple, and he... and he looked at me and was like, more like fine-apple. Cringe. Anyways, about a week ago, he followed me into the aisle and handed me a letter. I read it, and inside he told me he felt a connection, Josh, and that he wanted to give me his number. I am so freaked out, but I don't want to tell his boss that he gave me a letter, or he'll be fired. Please help. Okay. Look, Is it all right, let's get down to it. Is it creepy that this guy is following you down aisles, yelling "Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple" repeatedly at you, giving you letters? I feel a connection. Is it weird? Not really. Okay, I mean, like, I get it. Okay, you're traveling in town once a month or whatever, a year, and there's this slick hairback guy. All right, it's scary. I'll admit it. It would scare me too. But you just gotta, you know what? You just gotta walk down the aisles confidently with yourself. Don't be scared. This guy's not gonna do anything. Okay, if he's saying the word pineapple, he's harmless. It's amazing he came up with that. It's decently clever, actually. Look, just say, hey, verbalize what you're thinking. Hey, thank you. I don't want I don't feel a connection. I'm sorry. You could even just say, I don't feel a connection, and you know, that's just how it is. I'm actually not sorry, but please stop with the pineapple jokes, okay? You know what, honestly, I bet he'll listen to you. Give him the benefit of the doubt, okay? Because it sounds like you're not doing that. And I'm not saying it's not kind of creepy that he's doing it, but just give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Tell him you don't feel a connection, please stop, and then see what happens. And if he doesn't stop at that point, write in again and say, Pineapple, help me. Or just mark your name as Pineapple.
When I read this, I got that same vibe that he was just like a harmless guy. But I was like, am I wrong? But so it's interesting that you thought the same thing.
He's just a harmless pineapple. Let him be. Let him be.
Let him go.
Let him go.
Let him be.
Let him be. Let's move on. Now, guys, I want to remind you that you can submit your messages completely anonymously by going to blimeycow.com/messages. You'll find a submission form there and some helpful tips for getting your message read on the show. We love our website so much and are so thankful to Squarespace for making it possible. Guys, if you want a professional looking website, you need to check out Squarespace. Whether you want to start a business, a blog, a web store, a portfolio, whatever you need, Squarespace has a beautiful template that matches your style. You'll be up and running in literal minutes. And it's easy to make changes to your site when you want to update things. But you still have so much freedom to modify your site however you need it. Honestly, it's pretty impressive just how much you can do with the Squarespace site.
I was able to put the messages submission form together in like minutes, like seconds. I mean, it goes straight to my email. It's perfect. It's awesome.
Perfect. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform, which means that they have everything you need to keep your site up and running and looking great. No need for other subscriptions once you switch to Squarespace. They have audio blogs which support podcasting, you can run email campaigns, and you can easily look at your site analytics too. Squarespace helps us run our business, and they can help you too. If you want your own space on the web, do it with Squarespace. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and then when you're ready to launch, go to our link, squarespace.com/cow, because there you're going to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/cow. Now, let's get back to the messages. Dearest Jordan and Josh, I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm bad with boys. Every guy I've ever liked/dated has turned out to be a horrible person. Sarah, maybe you'll have advice for them. Because you dated me.
Nice.
That was a nice little jab at myself. They say that means...
It's like, I'm giving you advice because I dated you.
Oh.
I must know what I'm doing.
Oof.
That was not a punch at myself. I resorbed the punch.
Uno reverse.
Uno reverse. I don't understand how I keep making the same mistake. I find a guy and think, wow, he's nice, funny, and really unique. Then he walks in with his hair like all, and he's like walking in with like a trench coat, and like he looks super unique. Then he turns out to be terrible. One guy was a literal criminal, and another was a serial dater. The worst.
A what?
A serial dater. I thought she was gonna say a serial. I'm gonna bleep it out. Don't worry. Serial. What did you think?
She said serial tater.
A serial tater.
It made no sense.
No, not a serial tater. I don't even know what that is. It's not like other guys don't have crushes on me. Sometimes I just like them back, and sometimes it's because I'm too into the gotta bleep that one, of the month to notice until it's too late. I'm in my 20s. This is getting beyond ridiculous. Any advice on how to find a guy who's not a total loathsome human being? Thanks. Probably mean, but hopefully not. Sarah, what would your advice be for this? Okay, she's just repeatedly going after these guys, the fine apples of the world. She's constantly going after them.
You gotta take a dating break.
A dating?
You gotta stop dating for a minute. Like if you're dating a new person every month, that's not working out.
Well, what does she do?
You just hang out with like friends, and then when you have like a nice friend, and then you like each other, and then you date. Don't date a new person every month.
That seems too simplistic, but it's right. Sometimes the most simple advice is the most beautiful advice. You are wanting a boyfriend too bad, and you're getting yourself into so much trouble because you've got to have the touchy-feelies with somebody. You have to have, just stick with some friends, and then when one of those friends, this was what happened to us, when one of those friends starts to become a little more than friends, and then you can you already know their character, then you're fine. Don't date these serial daters.
I want a boyfriend. When do I get the boyfriend?
You get a boyfriend when you least expect it.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise pineapple for
Little pineapple for your
Tuesday.
For your Tuesday. Hello, Jordan and Josh. I'm getting married in 2.5 months to the love of my life. I've had a crush on her since when we were both in youth group, which is now a long time ago. And I've been dating for 3 years now, so I know that this is the girl I want to marry. The only problem I have with her is that her love language is physical touch, Josh. Here we go again. Now, mine isn't, but I still try my best, Josh, to fulfill her love language. It's his cross to bear as much and appropriately as I can. But since her love language is physical touch, Josh, she does get physical with every. And I'm talking full frontal hugs with her friends. My friends. And sometimes strangers. I've seen the likes of these people. Also, her best friend is a guy, and no. I understand why they are best friends since they grew up together. But it still bothers me whenever I see them together hugging. Oh, am I just being paranoid? No. Or is there a legitimate issue here? If there is, how do I address it? Okay.
I didn't actually see the thing about best boyfriend thing. That really complicates this.
I'm gonna rock your world.
Doesn't.
What do you? I'm gonna. What?
It's fine. She's marrying you. She doesn't want to marry her best friend. I mean, you're her best friend. The other guy is a best friend. It's different. I had a best friend of the guy.
You didn't hug all over him 24/7.
No.
Not that you saw.
Sarah's love language is not physical touch, okay? Sarah, if your love language was physical touch, I will tell you, from my perspective, it would have been a problem, okay? I know the likes of this girl. I've seen them 100,000 times. I've been around them, okay? It all seems like fun and games, okay? And honestly, I've never quite seen how it turns out. I think that this is a problem, and she thinks that it's totally fine that she is just hugging full frontal, just basically constantly touching every single human being. Explain yourself, Sarah. This poor guy is worried out of his mind. Comfort him right now. Explain to him why it's fine.
Why is he worried? They've been dating for 3 years. Like, has she been doing this the whole time? Because, it's a little late to be worried about it, right? I mean...
It's all bubbling over.
No. It's not too late. This is the thing. It's not too late. This guy's probably thinking, wow, we've been dating for 3 years. Surely she would stop by now. And she keeps doing it with her best friend. Every 5 seconds. That's why he's coming to me. He's like, I don't know. Maybe there is some questions here. Look.
Maybe you should talk about it.
I think that y'all need to talk about it. I think that it really needs to be a thing where you sit down with her and you say, look, we're gonna get married soon. You know, maybe you could just maybe tone it down a little bit, because if anything, it's a little embarrassing for me. You know what I mean? You're just constantly laying all over and hugging this guy on the pews at church. How about you tone it down just a little bit for me, okay? That would really help.
That's reasonable.
I feel like that's reasonable. And here's the thing. Given her response to it and just her overall attitude and vibe, that's when you'll know if it's a problem or not. There, I felt that was a pretty good answer.
Beautiful.
Yes.
If you send me a direct message on Instagram and send me a personal email and Josh and messages at blimeycow.com and you fill out our Squarespace forum thing, if you do all of those things, you will be spammed. We will put you in the spammed folder, period. But you might get on the show. But you will be put in the spam folder for good. Please don't do that.
This was a one-time thing.
This was a one-time
One
thing.
person got away with it.
It will never happen again. Even if it's the greatest question of all time.
Greatest message.
And somebody is in serious harm. Spam. You will not get the question answered if you do that.
Because of your actions.
Because of your actions. It is nothing that I did. It is you. I want to help you. Trust me, I want to help you.
Messages land is not safe, but it is good.
It's not safe, but it's good. Don't be messy. And leave good messages.